I was asked to come and share some information about Special Olympics. Supporting me in this undertaking, I say Chris and Jamie are going to introduce themselves and what their part of Special Olympics is and what they feel about Special Olympics. And I used to use the term movement. Special Olympics is a movement. And by the movement, it's become a model for social change. A movement which incorporates many aspects of a person's life, the driving force being sport. There's a stress on fitness, of course, but we also look at healthy vision, healthy dental, healthy hearing, and a big move to eliminate the R word, and a stress on unified sports and acceptance of all aspects of society. Special Olympics is a sports and fitness program for people who have an intellectual disability. There's always been some confusion with Special Olympics, is that Paralympics? No. We have the Olympics, of course. Everybody knows the Olympics. And then you have the Paralympics. Paralympics came into being for people who wanted to compete in sport who had a physical limitation. So Paralympics was created. Special Olympics didn't start until about 1968 for people with an intellectual disability. We'll get into that as to what happened with that. So we see three distinct levels of Olympics. Okay? Now, if we can make this work. I got the forward button. Okay. Now, am I going to range? No. Oh, it was not. Fan shot. We did not have this technology back a long, long time ago. So the center button should. Oh, wrong one, sorry. So how do I get that video to start then? You do it, okay.
People look at you. They stare. They all stare. They point at you. They shout things. They make you feel different. It's fantastic.
And it is fantastic. I've got one more here. Okay. Okay. The way that goes through. Yeah, might have gone too far. Anyway, currently there are 4.4 million participants, million athletes that train in 170 countries and 235 different programs. There are more than 560,000 coaches training athletes in all ages in 22 official sports. We have more than 94,000 sporting competitions held every year. And it's easy to ask, when are the Special Olympics? Well, the easy question to answer, it's every day. Every day somewhere in the world, volunteer coaches train athletes, young and old, in the basics of sports. We have a starting age right now with an active start program of 5 and 6, active start, and then fundamentals, and then into competitive. Usually about 8 years of age is the youngest. 12 years of age for competing at a provincial level, and so on. 14 for national, 16 for world games. There's a certain amount of maturity you have to be able to travel around the world or across the province or across the country. So we train to follow the rules, to eat right, get fit, do your best, and always be a good sport. And our Special Olympics motto, which has been in existence since 1968, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. Athletes and volunteers recite this at the beginning of every sport competition, just to remind themselves to do their best, win or lose. You may have heard this about Special Olympics, that everybody's a winner. They don't care if they win or lose. They're happy all the time. Well, as a coach who trained athletes, that's not always the case. Many times I coached floor hockey for 11 years and we didn't win all the games. We went years without winning anything. So you have to teach people to be a good loser as well. So part of the responsibility of coaching athletes is instilling in them that losing is part of the sport. You know, if anybody ever coached and never had a loss, well, there's something wrong with that. So being a gracious winner goes hand in hand with being a good loser. So Special Olympics, 49 years young. We have 4.4 million participants and growing every year. We've had 22 World Games, both summer and winter. National Games, regional games, countless invitational competitions. Tens of millions of dollars raised every year. Celebrities from all walks of life, the Special Olympics. Heads of state, sports stars, well, sorry, Justin here. Actually walked in with Team Canada for the Los Angeles World Games last summer. And all feeling the positive effects of what this organization can accomplish. Okay? So, how in the world did all this begin? And where did it all begin? I know a few of you know that, but most of you don't realize it began about 500 feet from where you're sitting right now. Former kinesiology professor Frank Hayden was honored in 2012 with an honorary degree from Western, and a commemorative plaque now stands in the hallway at the lower level of Thames Hall. And in Frank's own words, it was 1964, I was sitting over here and the idea came into my head that if we were going to make people with intellectual disabilities fitter, stronger, and healthier, the sport was the way to go. Huddled behind his desk in Thames Hall, room 2165, Dr. Hayden was inspired to search for ways to develop a national sports program for intellectually disabled people. His research had been doing that yes, everybody can benefit from physical activity, from sport. So for hundreds of years, people with intellectual disability were either shunned, abandoned, or sent away to hospital schools to be warehoused for the rest of their lives. Very little in the way of education or job training or fitness, anything was offered or even available. With the beginning of the community living associations, dramatic changes in our thinking about the care and treatment of handicapped individuals, the way was open for Dr. Hayden's ideas. So when the centennial year for Canada was approaching, they thought this might be a good idea. Let's present this to the Canadian government and see if they'll run with it. It sounds like a good idea for a national sports program for people with intellectual disability. But the interest wasn't there at that level for something they saw as a short-term venture. So at the time, Eunice Kennedy Shriver had been operating a summer day camp for children with a developmental disability. Her sister, Rosemary, was born with an intellectual disability. She heard about Dr. Hayden's work and asked him to come and describe the program to them, see what might be possible for all this. So their collaboration with the support of the Chicago Recreation Department, the Kennedy Foundation, brought about the first ever Special Olympics at Soldiers Field in Chicago in 1968. You'll see the swimming pool there at the front. It was built on the grounds. And at the time, the participants would have to stop halfway, take a breath, and then allow them to go on. Because, you know, kids with intellectual disabilities just couldn't do that sort of thing. The races were 25 meter, 50 meter, 100 meter at the most. Had a great thing called a shoe kick. Hang the shoe off your toe and kick. So it was a lot of like fun day. There wasn't a lot of training that went into this prior to this from schools across the country. There were 1,000 athletes from 26 states competing in the track and field and swimming. Canada's contingent was a group of floor hockey players from Toronto, from Beverly Street School. And fell at the end there, Harold Smith was the teacher at the time, and Frank had been doing some instruction with them and physical fitness testing. And when the whole thing came along, I said, well, let's do floor hockey, and they encouraged another team from Chicago, coached by Stan Mikita. This team was coached by George Armstrong. And it was a wonderful time. I wasn't there, but this had happened actually just before me. But in the end, the Toronto team, they won the little Stanley Cup, and it was the last time a Stanley Cup was hosted by a Maple Leaf team. So from very humble beginnings, the short-term idea has grown without limits. Every fall, the Special Olympics Canada has a gala with their national award winners and a huge fundraising, and it's called the Limitless Gala. In 1969, Harry Red Foster, a well-known sports celebrity, began Special Olympics, started as a national organization. They held the Special Olympics in 1969 in Toronto and again in 1971, and invited children from across the country, kids that were in schools and actually having some fitness and were actually participating in some sports. But in 1977, Mr. Foster set in motion, 77, 69, 70, 77, I got my dates right, sorry. He wanted to create what's called the floor hockey program. That was the first sport. Floor hockey was the first team sport for Special Olympics. So he called the name of Mike Nychuk to be the coordinator, and then Mike went to all the community people that he knew that were working in hospital schools and were playing Special Olympics, and started this league. So I was one of the ones that he approached, and we had a team up in Palmerston, or Palmerston if you're a local. And so we started a floor hockey league, and actually had a provincial championship in 78, and then 79 and 80, we continued on. And then we started adding multi-sport. So we were adding Special Olympics bowling, swimming, swimming, bowling, track and field, and the floor hockey became what we called Special Olympics. We incorporated as a provincial organization in 1980. So other provincial chapters followed in turn, and now we see all the provinces and the territories with accredited organizations. So Special Olympics Canada now boasts 40,000 athletes from coast to coast to coast. That does include the Northwest Territories and the Yukon. Each provincial chapter can host up to 18 winter and summer games, usually done in the spring, a summer, and a winter series. Athletes qualify for advancement to national games held every 2 years. These games in turn qualify athletes and coaches to compete as Team Canada at the World Games held every 2 years. So we had, as mentioned, 6 athletes just returned from Corner Brook, Newfoundland. We won a total of 5 bronze, 3 silver, and 5 gold medals. And yes, we did have 50 centimeters of snow and flights canceled. I want to go back in the summer. All this isn't possible without the never-ending energy of 15,000 Canadian volunteers. Volunteers involved in coaching, administration, and fundraising. The support of many corporations, organizations, and individuals helped to fund the uniforms, travel, which is our biggest expense in London, and facility costs. The law enforcement torch run, you may have heard of it, it's been going for 30 years now. It's the largest contributor to Special Olympics Ontario and raised in excess of $1 million each year for the province. The Ontario run is the largest torch run in the world. Just last year they won a Diamond Award with the law enforcement torch run for their efforts. So we asked the question, what makes Special Olympics different from generic sports organizations? Well, our individual sports are first divided by male and female, for individual sports. Male and female is where we start. And then we break the ability down by age limits. So people that are 50 years of age aren't competing with somebody who's 19 years of age. It stands to reason. We have 6 age categories. And then the unique part is we break it down into ability levels. If you group athletes for heats and into divisions, with no more than 15% between the fastest and the slowest. You break those into groups, and they compete. So, an example of men's group of 19 to 21-year-olds, you guys are even younger than that, there may be 15 competitors registered, so you take the fastest time, and you say, what's 15% of that? And that becomes Division A, and then another 50, another B. So in a race, you might have 5 different divisions, A, B, C, D, and E. Whereas if those same competitors are in shot put, it may turn out different. You might be the fastest, but you might not be the strongest. So you go through a track meet in 5 different events. You may be in an A, and a B, and a C, and a D, and a D. Well, depending on how if you win a first place in those, it doesn't matter what division, you get 10 points for first, and 8 for second, and 6 for... So everybody accumulates points. So people who move on are the people who have done the best in their particular division. So somebody in the A, if they're in A category all the time, they win 5 gold medals, that's great. Somebody in that D level could do the same thing. So they both have the same point value and should still advance to higher levels. For team sports, we do divisioning. So we have a floor hockey tournament coming up, and we have 15 teams. Some teams know that we're a B level, or we're a C level, or we're a D level. If you have the time and the facility, you can take the time to see, okay, we want to see you and you play together, just a little mini game, see if they're the same level. And you do the same for floor hockey, you do the same for basketball and volleyball and any other team sport. What you want is that competition, when they get into the regular competition, to be fair, to be as fair as you can, so everybody has a chance of winning. Okay? Every sport, the thing that's similar about regular sports is we don't change the rules. That the soccer plays with FIFA rules. Swimming is CASA, Canadian Association, Swimming Association. So every sport that we compete in has exactly the same rules. Format may change a little, but the same rules apply. The only difference is the sport of floor hockey, which was developed specifically for Special Olympics, and we have the opportunity to change those. But there are no generic rules for those. It was back in 1988, and the Winter Olympics in Calgary, that there was an agreement document signed between the International Olympic Committee and Special Olympics International that recognized Special Olympics athletes as bona fide athletes. That yes, they are true athletes, they train, they compete, they advance, they do everything that other athletes do. One thing we've never gotten into is drug testing. And it's never been on the horizon, it's never checked because, face it, there are a lot of athletes that have a lot of medical issues as well, and we don't want to get into that. So, you may have a Special Olympics and you may have a 100 meter for men's and there may be 15 medal winners. Whereas at the Olympics, you may have 200 men start the process and there's only 1 gold medal. And Jamie and Chris, with all the medals that you've won, you've ever had any major sponsors come to you and offer millions of dollars for endorsements or anything like that? No, there's just not that payoff value. You know, we do it for the sport. But that's kind of the big picture now. I'm going to bring up our first speaker, Chris Innes. And as mentioned, he's a highly skilled, he's been in almost 25 years with Special Olympics. And Chris is going to share his ideas with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Innes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chris Innes. I am fortunate to work at a great place here at Western Windermere Manor. I am also fortunate to have done well with the Special Olympics over the past 25 years. I had just come back from competing in this year Special Olympics National Winter Game in Cornbrook, Newfoundland. I had fun and won 3 medals in alpine ski and joint slalom, super G, and slalom. Now, I am getting ready to compete in swimming this May in the Ontario Special Olympics Spring Game. My events are the 100 IM, 200 freestyle, 200 back, and 400 freestyle. I hope to do well so I can attend the Special Olympics National Summer Game in Nova Scotia next year. So far, I had attended 4 summer games and 2 winter games for Ontario. I am lucky that here in London I can to do lots of sports. I like to swim, alpine ski, play hockey, soccer, and golf. Special Olympics London make most of this possible. I am also very lucky to work in a great place that support me with my competing sports. Because of Special Olympics, I can compete in the sports. I love meet athletes from the other province and see place. I may not to go otherwise. I had lots of fun, but it is also lots to hard work and training. But it is worth it when I can stand up on podium, bring home the medal, and see everyone smile for me. Someday, I hope that like Jamie and I too will be able to represent Canada at a Special Olympics World Game. The biggest life lesson I had to learn from the Special Olympics, it is motto, which is, let me win. If I cannot win, let me be bright in the attempt. Thank you.
And introduce James Walker, who's been competing for about 17 years with Special Olympics, powerlifting, floor hockey, softball, basketball, and golf. And he played on the Guelph floor hockey team, as mentioned. He's won 3 gold medals as a national champion. He also went to Boise, Idaho, back in 2009, as part of the Guelph team, and won a silver medal as part of Team Canada. What's not mentioned is, along with his buddy Scott from London, Jamie and his Guelph team are enshrined in the Guelph Sports Hall of Fame, and they got the ring to prove it. And as mentioned, he's been with the Western Bookstore for about 10 years now. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie, and as mentioned, as a floor hockey referee, I get to see a lot of Jamie in the penalty box.
Morning. My name is James Walker, and I'm a Special Olympic athlete. During the week, I work at a UW bookstore. I've worked there for 10 years. I call my bookstore family. Well, I grew up in this campus going to every Mustang hockey game since 1994. A Mustang player named Mark Guy helped me learn to speak. Last week, I was in Corner Brook, Newfoundland for the Special Olympics Canada Winter Games. I play for floor hockey team. Most of the players were from Guelph, but we also have some players from Peterborough. This is my 4th national game. I have been to other national games in Quebec City, St. Albert, and Vancouver. I have been to national game 3 times for floor hockey, once for powerlifting. Last year, at Vancouver, at the National Summer Games, I deadlift 496 pounds to win gold. In Corner Brook, we won RO games in round robin play. It was a physical, and I got a couple of poundies. My mother was not very happy. It gave me the evil eye. Each time I got to the penalty box, I don't know why. Why I got penalties. Maybe it has something to do with a nickname like the Bulldozer. It has something to do with it. I ran into people, they all fall down. Sometimes I think it's the referee that picks on me. Bill is a referee. He knows what I mean. In the gold medal games against BC, I scored and we won 3-1. My teammates and coach were so happy. And now we wait now if we present Canada at the special winter games in Australia in 2017. I think representing Team Canada is the highest honor that person can achieve. I was lucky to be on the Team Canada for floor hockey in 2009 when we won silver medal in Boise, Idaho. I'll help do the same thing again. Listen to our oath that all Special Olympic athletes say at all the games all over the world. Let me win. If I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. I would like to thank all of you help support the Special Olympics. It was amazing to win a medal for my country. It was my dream come true. I hope to be selected again to represent my country. And if not, I hope others have their own dreams come true. Thank you.
There's Chris. And there's Katie. So, what's the picture for London Special Olympics? Let's bring it on home here. Right now we host more than 420 registered athletes, and we compete in 17 sports. We operate year-round, ongoing programs with the support of more than 250 volunteers. Our golf program is one of the largest in Canada. We have 65 golfers or more. Our soccer program operates both summer and winter with more than 70 players. Annually, we host the basketball, bowling, floor hockey, track and field, and curling competitions. Our budget pays for all coaches to take the National Coaches Certification Program, if you've ever been involved in that stream, in their respective sport. And we pay for any coaches who need first aid and CPR. If the coaches are properly trained, the athletes are safer. Safety is our number one. We assist in the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. We go to their annual golf tournament, their annual run in the city. There's the guys there, Derek and Mark. They also went to Bahamas. Was it the Bahamas? Right, yeah, for the World Law Enforcement Torch Run Conference, where they received the Diamond Award for their program. Our sports managers and our coaches stress healthy food choices, and our meals provided at competitions try to avoid junk food. Our budget's approaching $200,000 a year to run all of our sports programs just in the City of London. We have no paid staff in London. There are only 15 in the entire province. We have field staff, and that's the closest we come to actually having staff here in the city. We rent our facilities. We buy our uniforms. We pay for all the bus trips within for competitions within the regions. So you may ask, where does the money come from? Well, we don't receive any funding from our provincial organization. They look after provincial games costs, the costs to run a games. Our athletes contribute about 13% of the total through the registrations. We hold our annual golf tournament, our bowl-a-thon, our walk-a-thon, direct mail appeal, corporate funding, and the Fantastic event. Now, the Fantastic event recognizes the support of our Fan of the Year. For 2015, we recognized the efforts of Western University. How many knew that? Oh, okay. Further support shown over the years, there's student participation as volunteers, support in hiring athletes, funding for both the Student Union Charity Ball, we got that once, and Dance Force contributed funds. In 2010, Western played host to the National Summer Games in London. Tri-chairs Murray Faulkner, Diane Cunningham, and Western's own Darwin Simodiak were our chairs. And the games were an outstanding success. The increased awareness to the public, the volunteers who stepped forward, were all of great benefit to our organization. One of our London athletes, Sarah Albers, qualified for the 2011 World Summer Games in Athens, Greece. She was the youngest member of Team Canada, and she won a bronze in the 200 meter and a gold in the long jump. The Games also saw a financial profit, which in turn was directed back to our London program. London also created, the year before the Games, an ambassador program, where athletes, we worked on public speaking, we worked on their individual presentation. We knew that the fundraising element of the committee was going to go forward and talk to schools and organizations and businesses. And rather than me get up there and talk or someone else, have the athletes talk to these folks and impress upon them the need for financial aid. So the ambassador program was formed and they did lots of that. We're still doing that. We're going to try to increase that. Annually we go to the YISC stores once a year as a part of a national program. We go to the Staples stores as a national program where we put in a presentation. We show up at the store and promote Special Olympics for a couple of hours. So we like to have our athletes involved in the community, putting our face forward. What's in store? As I mentioned, the Active Start program. This is for kids 5 and 6 and 7 years of age, leading into what we call the Fundamentals program for a little older. It's like a pre-competition. Get people active, get them started. Their siblings are allowed to come, their parents are there. It's not just bring son or daughter and just leave them there. Nope, they're participating as well. It's been going for 2 years now. It's extremely successful. And let's see. Our public relations, our fundraising, and our volunteers work hard to get the support of the community. And it's presentations like we have this morning that will help to increase awareness, that you go forward and you know somebody says Special Olympics, and click, I remember a lot more than I did before. So can everybody answer this? When are the Special Olympics? Every day, every day. So on behalf of Chris and Jamie and the other 400 plus athletes and volunteers, we'd like to thank you for this opportunity. And there is so much to tell about this program, which is 49 years old. It's best, the question and answer period, if you've got something that you're not quite sure about, ask, because it's all up here and we'll try to get it out to you. So thank you very much, and we'll be here. Thanks. Los Angeles World Games last year, 2015. Chicago, as I mentioned, had 1,000 athletes and hardly any spectators. Well, here we had 7,000 athletes from 170 countries and about 80,000 spectators, and it was live on CBS, ABC as well. So we've come a long, long way. Thank you.